All right, let's dive back into the saga of Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, that seems to just never able to catch a break. Everything that she is doing doesn't make any sense.
More drama in Dalton tonight. The state agency that regulates local law enforcement in Illinois says Mayor Tiffany Henyard's handpicked police chief is not right now legally qualified to run the department.
What? So if you haven't checked out the last meeting that they had together, someone talked about background checks. Take a look.
No confirmation of background checks, no confirmation of salaries, and for some of the contract individuals, no confirmation of certificates of insurance, malpractice insurance. None of that information has been provided to the board.
With any position, anybody that has been in HR and have an HR background, you would have a background check ran. Nobody starts until the background clears. That's for any reputable company, business, or anything else. Any person that has an HR background would know that. There's nothing wrong with you putting them on here. Where's the background? Has it been ran, and is it back? Simple as that. We've made this mistake again. Why go back down this same road again with not running background and not making sure that these people are qualified for the position?
First of all, everybody up here is overqualified for their position. So please put some respect on their name, like I tell you to do me. As it relates to us here, we are African American.
So as you see, this recent letter from the Illinois Law Enforcement Trainings and Standards Board, when you look at it, this letter is essentially a formal, what the hell are you doing, directed at the mayor, making it clear that her decision to appoint Burge is both premature and legally questionable.
Or even serve as an officer. Fox 32 obtained a letter sent by the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board to Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard on Friday regarding her appointment of Ronald Burge Sr. as Dalton Police Chief. Henyard appointed Burge as top cop in September over the objections of the majority of the Dalton trustees, who say she can't make appointments without their consent. In the letter, the deputy director of the Training and Standards Board tells Henyard that Burge is considered inactive because Dalton has not submitted the proper paperwork on his behalf, and because Burge has not completed a requalification shoot since 2021 when he was with the Dixmoor Police Department.
You can't make any of this up. The letter is addressing Henyard to giving Burge the authorization to be a police officer in Dalton. Doesn't make any sense. He's wearing uniform, flashing a badge, even carrying a firearm, even though he's not an active police officer. The idea that the Henyard administration didn't even submit the necessary paperwork to activate his status is Henyard saying, I don't care about the rules, let me jump the gun, put Burge on the streets without bothering to go through the official channels. It's not just missed paperwork, it's a glaring safety and liabilities issue. So according to the letter, a law enforcement officer's certification must be activated with every new appointment before they can legally exercise any police authority or even carry a firearm in public. But yet we have Burge strolling around in a full uniform, basically cosplaying, playing dress up as a cop. He's not a police officer at this point. And to make matters worse, he hasn't completed the mandatory firearm recertification course since 2018, meaning he legally isn't allowed to carry a gun on duty. Just amazing.
For these reasons, he is currently not authorized to exercise law enforcement authority or to carry a firearm publicly, the letter says. We strongly encourage you to remove him from public service until an appointment is submitted and the board determines if he is eligible for reactivation and a training waiver. Last month, Dalton trustees were granted a restraining order, preventing Burge from serving without the board's approval. But after a chaotic village board meeting on Wednesday, the judge agreed with Henyard that Burge could serve as police chief on an interim basis for 30 days until a new chief is selected.
I'm assuming that judge did not know that Burge had no right to do anything as a police officer. Clearly, to give him that, background checks are very important.
The letter also includes a stern reminder to Henyard of your duty to conduct a thorough background check of Mr. Burge's criminal and employment history before making your determination of employment. Now, it's unclear just how much Burge has actually been working at the Dalton Police Department since his appointment.
He has been working. From sources that I've heard, he is basically tried to bully his way in, arguing with people. That's what I've heard. Basically just trying to put his authority as aggressively as he possibly can. So he has been walking around pretending he's a cop, even though right now he is not a cop.
I spoke tonight to Dalton trustee Jason House, who told me they will likely now go back to court with that letter and try to convince the judge that Burge should not even be serving in an interim capacity.
So at this point, we could say Henyard is either ignoring these facts or unaware of its importance. Either way, it's all terrible. But to put someone in uniform who can endanger himself or others due to a lack of current training is unexcusable. This letter is crystal clear, as she likes to say. Dalton's request to recognize Burge as an authorized chief executive is denied until the appropriate documentation is submitted and reviewed. So this letter is basically saying, get your stuff in order, get your paperwork in order, and follow the rules before you hand someone a badge and a gun. This is basic protocol, but Henyard's actions suggest a disregard for these norms, and I'm gonna do what I want first, then ask questions later. And this approach leaving her administration looking as reckless as it always does. These attempts to remove and add chiefs and install new ones without proper procedures have painted this chaotic picture that shows her leadership style. Her approach seems to be involving cycling through police chiefs as if they're just interchangeable pieces, which have done little to destabilize the department and frustrate officers that's trying to serve the community. The letter had to remind her it's her responsibility to conduct thorough background checks on anyone she appoints to a position of authority. It's as if the board had to go back to the basics to educate her, as she likes to say, reminding the mayor of things that should be common sense. Appointing someone to a role that is important as police chief isn't just a quick decision based on what you think is most loyal at this point. It's required vetting, approval, and ensuring that all standards are met. By bypassing these protocols, Henyard is not only bending the rules, but potentially putting the safety of Dalton residents at risk. So there's another nonsense move from Henyard. This whole situation with Burge acting as a cop before being formally activated is just emblematic of Henyard's leadership style. It's impulsive, it's rule bending, and apparently does not care about long-term repercussions. So this letter is more than just a warning. It's a wake-up call urging her to follow the established protocols rather than treat the mayor's office like her own personal playground. Everyone is getting really annoyed right now. Residents are growing more concerned about her decisions. Obviously, the trustees are as well. And his actions are starting to look less like governance and more like a chaotic game of let's see what I can get away with today. But let me know what you guys think about in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.